Okay, let's talk about Bitcoin for a second. We all know it's digital, right? It's just code. It lives on the internet. So, what if I told you that you could hold one in your hand? Yeah, it sounds like a total paradox. And that's exactly what we're going to get into today, the absolutely fascinating story of physical Bitcoin.
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? It just doesn't seem possible. Bitcoin is, by its very nature, intangible. So how on earth did somebody crack this puzzle and manage to create a real physical object that held actual, spendable, digital money?
Well, the answer isn't some kind of tech magic. It's actually way more clever. A physical Bitcoin is basically just a fancy, secure container. You can think of it like a piggy bank, but instead of holding coins, the physical object holds this secret key, the password really, to unlock the digital cash.
Now, this brilliant idea didn't just pop up out of thin air. It came from the mind of one guy, an inventor way back in the early days of crypto, who figured out how to literally put a code inside of a coin.
And this is him. Meet Mike Caldwell. He went by the username Cassisius online. You have to remember, back in 2011, trying to explain Bitcoin to someone was, well, it was tough. It was abstract and confusing. His goal was pretty simple, actually. He wanted to create something physical that people could see and touch, just to help them wrap their heads around this whole new idea of digital money.
And oh boy, did his idea take off. He started out small in 2011, just making a simple 1 Bitcoin coin. But the demand just exploded. He quickly had to start making coins for bigger amounts, 10, 25, even a 1,000 Bitcoin coin. By the time he had to stop in 2013, he had sold physical items loaded with almost 28,000 Bitcoin. Just wild.
And the way it worked was just simple genius. He'd mint the physical coin, sure, but that was the easy part. The real innovation was the security. He embedded a little piece of paper with the private key on it right into the coin. And then, and this is the brilliant part, he covered it with a special tamper-proof hologram. If you tried to peel that sticker off to get the key, the hologram would actually destroy itself, leaving behind this unique honeycomb pattern, so you knew instantly if anyone had ever messed with it.
But, as you can probably imagine, not everyone was on board right away. In fact, when he first floated the idea online, the reaction was, let's just say, pretty skeptical.
Yeah, this quote from an old forum pretty much sums it up. A user called The Joint said, "Look, the coins are cool and all, but why would I do this? Bitcoin is totally unproven, it's risky, what's the point?" And you know what? At the time, that was a totally reasonable thing to say.
Because you have to remember the context here. When that user posted that comment, the price of a single Bitcoin was $6.86. Six! We're talking about the price of a sandwich. When you look at it that way, the skepticism makes a whole lot of sense, right?
And then, this happened. You remember that 1,000 Bitcoin coin that Caldwell made? Well, at its absolute peak, that one coin was worth $109 million. Just let that sink in for a second. From a $7 curiosity to a 9-figure collectible. Absolutely mind-blown.
Now, Caldwell actually had to stop making his coins in 2013, but by then, the cat was out of the bag. His idea was just too cool to disappear. He had accidentally created a whole new category of thing, the crypto collectible.
And today, the spirit of that original Cassisius coin is everywhere. It lives on in things like paper wallets, which kind of work on the same basic principle, not to mention tons of commemorative collector's coins and other novelty items made for people who just want a physical piece of their digital passion.
So really, the modern definition is a lot broader. These days, pretty much any physical item, whether it's a coin, a plastic card, even just a piece of paper that securely has those private and public keys printed on it, can be considered a physical version of a cryptocurrency. Okay, so let's bring it all back to the here and now. What does all of this mean for you today? If you happen to stumble across one of these physical Bitcoins, what are the most important things you need to know?
All right, first things first, a quick legal check. For the most part, just owning a physical Bitcoin as a collector's item is totally fine. But creating them and selling them for profit, whoa, that's a whole different ballgame. That can get you tangled up in financial regulations about money transmission, which is the very reason Mike Caldwell had to shut down his operation. And please, listen to this next part, because it's probably the most important takeaway from this whole thing. Be careful, because these things can be so valuable, the market is full of fakes. You have to be so diligent about verifying where it came from and making sure that private key is legit before you even think about considering one of these genuine.
So that's where we'll leave it. You have to ask, is the physical Bitcoin just a quirky little footnote in the history of crypto? Or is it something more? Is it maybe a powerful reminder that no matter how digital and abstract our world gets, there's a part of us that still wants something real, something tangible we can actually hold in our hands? It's definitely something to think about.